Hello students, today we are going to study about the network security and IT career opportunities. As our subject is computer science and it also covers the information technology, and we will study about the network security as this chapter is about network operating system, and we'll study about the different network security that we get when we are in network or when our computer is in network, and what are the various career opportunities. Means if we will study and if we'll continue in studying computers, and what would be the career opportunities for us. So we'll start with the topics. Network security is the process of taking preventative measures to protect the underlying networking infrastructure from unauthorized access. It means when we are in the network, means we are vulnerable to get very unsolicited messages from the person whom we do not know, and many viruses, many spams, so many things we can get when we are in the network, when our computer is in the network. So to check that, to keep our computer safe and secure, there are many preventive measures that we can take when we are in a network, when our computer is in network. So what are these? So we are going to study those. So here it is saying that the process of taking preventative measures to protect the underlying networking infrastructure from unauthorized access, misuse, malfunction, modification, destruction, or improper disclosure. Network security involves the authorization of access to data in a network, which is controlled by the network security administrator specialist. So, as we know that when we are in a network, when our computer is in a network, we have a workstation where there are many computers, and we keep one computer as a server who is working as a host to the network, and it is monitoring each and every activity going into the network. And it means it gets the full responsibility of all the processes that are being taken place in a network. So this very computer or a server is watching over the all the activity taken in a network. So the person who is working in such network, in such computer or a server, is called a security administrator, or he's a, of course he's a specialist. That is why he's working there as a system administrator. Security specialist to implement and maintain our security system. So his responsibility is to maintain and implement the security. And of course, I think now you are clear what security we are talking about, like hacking, to prevent hacking, to uh, prevent the unauthorized access to the network. So nobody without an authorization should not enter into a network and have access of the data from an organization or an institution. So, a security specialist responsible for preventing unauthorized access to our data and responding to privacy breaches. Users choose or are assigned an ID and password or other authenticating information that allows them access to information and program within their authority. So, one very common process of providing a security is all the users are provided with an user ID and a password. So that user ID that a user can use, and he or she is allotted with a password using which he or she can access to his network. So if anybody uh, doesn't have an ID or a password, cannot be able to enter into a such kind of strict system. So the first way is by providing an ID and a password. The responsibilities for network security specialists are as follows. So what are the responsibility of network security? So to analyze IT specification to access security risk, design and implement safety measures and data recovery plans. So in case if any data get loses, or there is a hardware problem, or should not be like any hacking or any breaching into network, but in case if some hardware failure is that, so it is also his responsibility to provide the backup of such data or information in a network. Then install, configure, and upgrade security softwares like antivirus and programs. So he is so responsible for providing the antivirus in a such network, so that uh, the entire network is being protected from an virus attack. The next is secure network through firewalls, password protection, and other systems. So there is another system called firewall, where it protects the network, the entire network, from breached by the outsiders who doesn't have an access to the network, and the malwares, the spamwares. So it is the responsibility of a network administrator to provide such firewalls in a network, so that it is kept secure. Then next is inspect hardware for vulnerable points of access. So also he is assigned to check all the hardware requirements for a network. If any hardware, as I already told you, that if there is a problem in any hardware in a network, and because of the any hardware, if network is getting disturbed, that also is his responsibility to keep it up. Then monitor network activity to identify issues early and communicate them to IT teams. So if there is any problem, if he's monitoring any problem or any uh, that hacking problem or any problem, if he think that any minor problem now can be come up as a major problem, then he must communicate to his IT teams who are maybe a hardware expert or a software expert, so he can consult with them and then provide a better backup for the entire network. Next is to act as a privacy breaches and malware threat. So he needs to protect the computer from the privacy breaches of each users and the malware threats. Then serve as a security expert and conduct training when needed. So if there is any requirement for providing a training for a user or any client in a network, uh, it is his duty, this network administrator's duty, to provide such a information and the training for the needed people. Then the draft policy and guidelines. Then he, as he's maintaining all this network, and then he is the one who will draft policies and guidelines. Then what we call is SOPs, like standard operating procedures, that he have to make, and then he makes sure that it is followed by the all the users. Now, talking about the career opportunities, when we work or when we study these computers, then these are the various fields that are open for a student of a computer. Then if he continues his studies in computer, and if he's interested in this computer line, then what are the various fields where he can work, so and what would be his or her designation. So if we work in a network and as a network specialist, then this would be his designation, and such as the first one is network technician, who will create a network, who will assign the network to the users. Next is system engineer, who will take care of each system, the any problem or a fault that occurs in a system, that he will take care of. System architect, who will design the entire network, the processes for the entire network, is called a system architect. Then we have a network engineer, who will, as per the designing of a system architect, will work and provide the all hardwares and all the protocols that he will see, and he will be working as a network engineer in the company. Then we have a network architect, same as a system architect, who will design the blueprint of a network, and exactly as the system architect's plan, that is network architect will work and On a physical level, he will work for the entire network. Then we have a field engineer who will on the ground level, who will go to the computer to computer personally and set up the network for each user. Then we have a network security manager. Now, network security manager will work certainly just like we have studied just now, that he will see the security concern about the network. Means if the computer is under a network, now it is his responsibility to create the security for that computer, so there is no breach of network, and no sort of hacking should be done in a network. So he will be then responsible. So such a person is called a network security manager. Then we have a network analyst who will see the entire designing of a network, and the follow-up will be taken by this network analyst. And if there is any field of improvement in a network, then he is the one who will design and think of that. So these are the various career opportunities for a network specialist if one is interested in the field of computers. So this is what we have studied today for the computer network operating system. Uh, Next, we will study more about the network system. Till then, goodbye and take care.